So, Gump, have you found Jesus yet? Movie-going audiences are all familiar with this delightfully comedic exchange between the characters in the film Forrest Gump, starring one of America's most endearing actors, Tom Hanks, paired with Gary Sinise portraying Lieutenant Dan. And most recall the reply that only a Forrest Gump could return, "Stupid is as stupid does." Well, Lieutenant Dan, I didn't know that I was supposed to be looking for him. And after a finding in September 2019 that the Christian church memberships had declined by 12 points over the prior decade, only recruiting about 3% from their evangelical missions in a Great Commission, only 2% from those of child age who were to be raised as a child should go. It was a bit of a delight at the beginning of the pandemic to discover that as many as 24% of even atheists had turned to prayer, while sales of the most sold book in the world skyrocketed, according to research raised at the ironically named Pew Research Center. However, a far less publicized story that had appeared as the first reported case of a novel coronavirus had been determined to have arisen on December 8, 2019, coincident with the celebration of the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. The Pew Research Center had decided to announce that it had, as a part of what they had described as the Religious Restrictions Project, dedicated over 2 years to developing a unique technical capability in a robust search engine that could span the entire internet, targeting only the over 318,000 Christian churches in America before pandemic, of which they had found only about 60,000 technology capable, and to search those websites for broadcasted sermons to be not only collected, identifying almost 50,000 satisfactory specimen samples for detailed examination during an 8-week period overlapping the Lenten season and Easter Sunday, exactly 1 year before the novel coronavirus and pandemic had closed the doors to in-person worship, coincidentally. Now, in a pandemic, despite shut-down economies, the wonders of technology had explored the depths below the polar ice caps and discovered a new form of life, and in a place where nobody would have expected it to be, even if by accident, deep in the dark cavernous depths of a submerged ice shelf, and had published a peer-reviewed research paper to propose that the octopus had been left on Earth by some alien civilization, even though scientists have yet to find life on another planet. While the folks at NASA panned the universe to discover black holes and listen to their sweet music on synthesized apparatus, while the Department of Defense provided an unclassified report on UFOs, to the wonder of many, inspiring hope that perhaps there is intelligent life someplace else. But regardless of the suspicious coincidence of this robust covert collection targeting churches, Christian churches, just before a pandemic, ascertaining exactly how many churches had a technical capability and the ways in which they communicate with their members, as a reasonable person, especially one who did not believe in God, church, or religion, would you dedicate the time, money, and energy for over 2 years just to hear the stories of Jesus that church folk love to hear? The things they'd ask you to tell them if he were here. Scenes by the wayside, tales by the sea. Stories of Jesus? You look like an intelligent person, so please tell that to me. 2 years after the declaration of the pandemic, the Satanic Temple published a press release to announce that it had finally reached over 700,000 members and is still growing, making it larger than the dreadlock Rastafarians and even the Unitarian Universalist churches worldwide, while nuns, those affiliated with no religious denomination, had even eclipsed the Roman Catholic Church before the pandemic and had grown by 6 more points during the pandemic. While just as surveys had suggested before the pandemic, a break in the habits of in-person worship found people reading the Bible less that they broke records buying, and found so many church members departing the faith and stopping charitable donations, tithes, and offerings that some churches closed their doors forever, permanently, while others are still struggling to get members to return, and still other places of worship have yet to return to in-person worship and fellowship. While still, even Christian Democrats broke records going to the polls during a pandemic crisis. The Bible says that Jesus had told his disciples that they were sent as sheep among the wolves, and therefore had advised them to therefore be wise as the serpent, a curiously foreboding warning in times where scientists have determined that a novel coronavirus possesses a snake affinity at the genome level, even though coronaviruses are only exclusively capable of infecting mammals and birds, not reptiles. So let a hint to the wise be sufficient. This briefing is unclassified. As you were, my name is Major Mike Webb, and by God, I am running for U.S. Congress. This year, make the right choice. We shall make America great again. Honest. Carry on. This advertisement was authorized by Mike Webb.